Okay, everybody, thank you so much for being on tonight. We are really happy to be not only sharing this information, but diving into it ourselves because it is incredible information. How the gut changes everything, whether it's healthy or not so healthy. And let's face it, Americans' guts are very much leaning toward the not so healthy. Everyone is talking about gut health, but what does that really mean? Often people think gut health only reflects, whether you're going to the bathroom regularly or are you constipated, which is the number one reason for doctor visits, IBS, acid reflux, those kind of things. That's gut function, you guys. And yes, it is a sign of gut health or disease. Okay. But it is by no means the depth of what the gut controls. There is so much more. So I just want to ask you to think about, would you like to have more energy, better mood, better mental health, less depression, less anxiety, less aching joints, better sleep, better skin, better control of appetite, less bloating, less belly fat, reduce risks of many chronic diseases, the scary ones from cardiovascular, diabetes, mental disease, dementia, perhaps even Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. The research is really either linked or very much pointing to that these are all related to your gut health. And I want to make it clear that we're not making, claims to cure or reduce disease. Katie and I are just going to share tonight our experiences, our real results. I'd love to share with you all the testimonials that are pouring in, but we won't have time for that. But we'll do it another time. We are just sharing the knowledge and our own personal experience. So, Katie Keene will be speaking in just a minute, and she is just a lovely person. She is a pediatric pharmacist that has seen such a shift in kids' health. It's going to rock your world when she shares with us. And probably more importantly, she's a mom of two beautiful little girls. All moms care about kids' health. I am Debbi Walton. I've been teaching fitness for 49 years, got into nutrition 39 years ago, and realized that it's more important than even exercise. Exercise is super important, but what you're putting in your body is more critical. And I am certified through Cornell in plant-based nutrition. So let's talk about what makes up gut health. We have trillions of live bacteria, fungi in our body, on our skin. They're microbes. So that's why we call it the microbiome. They are non-human. We have way more non-human microbes in our body than human cells. It's crazy. So we want to take care of these microbes. We are their host. If you want to, that is exactly what we are. We are their host. It's like this community, this whole city, and most of those live biomes, microbiomes, are in our intestines, particularly the large intestine and our colon. So we're going to be talking about how do we improve the health down there. So this gut microbiome has a symbiotic relationship with us, and we provide them food and shelter, and they send either health or disease throughout our body. It's this huge network. Think of it as a gut garden growing deep within you, which either is rich and diverse, promoting health, or if it's poorly nourished, which is very typical in America and sadly growing throughout the world as they adopt the Western diet, it upsets our whole ecosystem, affecting everything. So think of your gut, particularly the microbiome, as command central, and it has such control over our overall health and well-being. And what we have learned and science has shown, it's really new science, you guys. The first major study came out, I believe, in 2009. That hasn't been long to learn all about this, that it is the key to bringing health throughout our body. So I'm going to bring Katie King, the young pharmacist, on to share what she is seeing in the pharmaceutical world. Katie?
Yes, I'm so glad you guys are taking your time to learn more about gut health with us tonight. And, in the pharmacy, Western medicine world, I have just noticed in my 13 years of practice that chronic disease is shooting through the roof. Unfortunately, not just in adults, but in our kids as well. And 6 out of 10 young adults have a chronic disease, and in children, it's growing as well. And like Debbie was saying, the gut is really command central. And so we're learning more and more that the gut really does have a lot to do with this, with chronic conditions and so much more. Also, children age 6 to 11, 21% of them, and this is as of 2020, and I know just in the last 5 years of practice that this is getting worse. 21% of children age 6 to 11 are struggling with obesity. And so there was also a recent Lancet trial that came out that showed, and this is all proposed, and but based on what they're seeing, they are proposing that overweight children now outnumber the underweight children worldwide. So this is a problem that we're seeing. I, every week, pretty much every day, as a pediatric pharmacist, and what I do, I am taking care of at least one, if not more, 5 to 7 year old who has the same weight as me, if not higher. And so they're having to carry this load of adult weight, and our bodies were not designed to do that. And this is not to bring shame. This is not about numbers. This is just about how do we get to a place to for healthier gut. And what all does that mean? Because with what we have in America, with the standard American diet, the SAD diet, it's not as easy as somebody might think, but it's easier than we have ways to make it easier, and we have simple solutions to help get your gut back on the right track. And so this is just something over the 13 years I'm seeing. We're also seeing diseases that we never saw in kids. When I first started, we rarely saw type 2 diabetes in kids. Now it's very common. We rarely saw fatty liver disease, if ever. And now we are seeing like non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. So we're seeing all these diseases that are now coming into play in our kids. And there it's even been predicted that potentially this next generation of kids might not outlive their parents. And so we've got to make a change. And so we're here tonight to empower you, to educate you, encourage you, because there is hope. We don't have to, continue to be downtrodden about this trajectory we're on. We have hope in a way to kind of take back our guts. So, Debbie, can you tell us a little bit more about gut health and how it really is the center of our health universe?
Oh, that's just so shocking. And if that's not a wake up call, Katie, I don't know what is. This book, and I know it's going to show it backwards, but the mind gut immune connection. We heard Dr. Imran Mayer speak recently at a nutraceutical conference, and he said that in the last 75 years, because of the changes in our agricultural system becoming industrialized and all the, environmental changes, and he said that there are other factors to gut health like exercise and environmental, pollution and all. But he said the number one thing to control and improve our gut health is our diet, and that each generation in the last 75 years has decreasing gut good healthy gut bacteria, and that is why this is happening to our kids, you guys. So we can change that. And I want to just share very quickly with you some of the things the gut controls. You've heard that the gut is called the second brain because it has a very strong vagus nerve from the gut to the brain. It's a two-way highway, you guys. The gut communicates to the brain communicates to the gut. And Dr. Emran called it a high-speed superhighway. And when the gut is healthy, it produces serotonin, dopamine, GABA, affecting your mood, your mental health. He talks extensively about how important gut health is to decreasing depression and anxiety and worse mental disease. And the gut has a network to your immune system. So it's going to fight, and 70% of the immune system is in the gut lining. So how healthy your gut is going to help you fight disease or succumb to disease. Autoimmune. People don't realize, he said that most people can't even name what autoimmune diseases are unless they have one, and a lot of people have them. But we're talking to allergies, you guys. Allergies are a malfunction of the immune system, which starts in the gut. Chronic fatigue, MS is exploding in young women. RA, IBS, diabetes, Hashimoto's. I think there's 70 or 80 autoimmune diseases now. The gut helps control your inflammation and vascular network. And hang on to this, when the gut is not fed its preferred foods, which are fiber, plant fiber, okay, I really want to, all caps, fiber, and polyphenols, which is a subset of nutrition from fruits, veg, and berries. It's voracious microbes, those trillions of microbes. If they don't get enough fiber and polyphenols, they attack the mucus barrier in your intestines, which starts the process of leaky gut. They eat the mucus barrier because it is carbohydrate rich. Okay, they prefer fiber. 90% of Americans eat less than half the amount of fiber you're supposed to get a day. That is the number one problem. Forget all this eat more protein, eat more protein. That's all I'm seeing on the internet. And I kind of scream out loud because Americans typically get too much protein, but we get 90% of us get way too little fiber. And so this triggers leaky gut, triggers low grade chronic inflammation, which is linked to almost all scary disease, cardiovascular, diabetes 1 and 2, neuroinflammation, that's brain inflammation, you guys, cognitive decline. The gut has a network to your liver. The microbiome talks to your liver, pancreas, and fat cells. Did you hear that? The gut talks to your adipose cells, and so it helps regulate your metabolism. How much caloric burn do you burn daily? It influences your detox. It helps create hormones like insulin, GLP-1, which is what everybody's shooting up for $500 a month, and they're going to have to take it for life. And I don't know if you've seen some of the really scary side effects of that. Your body will make it if you take care of your gut. It affects your appetite. It literally affects your brain, telling you when to eat and when you've had enough to eat, glucose regulation, and your energy. And when the microbiome is not fed properly, doesn't have enough fiber and polyphenols, it is never satisfied. Never. You're going to be hungry just like so much of the day when you know you've eaten enough, but you're still hungry because the brain is not getting the signal you've had enough to eat. So, what does the microbiome need for health? Say it with me: a rich variety of fiber and polyphenols. This is real important. The diversity of fiber feeds the diversity of microbes. We have hundreds of strains of bacteria, and they prefer, different strains want different fibers. So if you're taking a fiber supplement with one fiber in it, that's not going to get it. Okay. So we're lacking it in the American diet, but here's the beauty, the genius of what you can do with one simple change. Katie, can you give us the research we've already had and then go into this new product?
Yes. So I just want to add on to the variety. There was a study that showed for optimal gut microbiome, you need 30 different plants a week. Well, thankfully, with one simple change, I don't have any visuals here with me tonight, but um, the
I've
uh,
got it.
thank you. The global leader in plant-centered nutrition, Juice Plus, has our plant powders, which are 30 different fruit, veg, and berries. And they were studied along with our complete shake, which is a plant protein powder that has an additional 15 different plants in 2021. And they showed that that combination led to positive changes in composition and diversity of the gut microbiome. So we already have that. That's accounting for, like Debbie said, the polyphenols, but we also need this diversity in fiber. And so we're going to talk a minute about prebiotics, probiotics, and postbiotics. And we're going to go back to the garden. So like Debbie said, we have a gut garden. I heard somebody else refer to it as a rainforest. It's just, I actually thought of, have you ever seen Horton Hears a Who? And there's this whole community on this tiny little speck. That's like the trillions of microbes that are living within us. We're actually more microbiome data, like bacteria DNA than we are human DNA. So it's really, really important. So probiotics, which you've probably heard before, are basically like the seeds for the garden. So that's the good bacteria, what you have to plant your gut with so that it can grow. But for it to grow, you have to fertilize it or feed it. And that's where the prebiotics come in. That's the fiber and the polyphenols. Those feed the probiotics, which are the seeds. And then the postbiotics are the compounds that those bacteria produce. And they help in so many things like metabolism, mood, and so much more. And so I want to talk just briefly too about my role as a pharmacist. So I'm learning more and more about how medications really impact this. And so we often think, oh, I took an antibiotic, so I need to take probiotics. It's not just antibiotics that are killing off the good bacteria. There are a lot of other medications that are impacting our gut microbiome. Some of them are things like PPIs, that's a proton pump inhibitor, which would be omeprazole, Nexium, those kind of things for acid reflux that are very common and over the counter. Statins, laxatives, metformin, beta blockers, ACE inhibitors, antidepressants. So many different things affect your gut. And now medication has its role, absolutely. And don't ever stop taking a medication unless you consult with your doctor. But it's just to bring to the forefront how even more important, if you are taking some of these medications, that your gut needs that support. We all need the support, but those medications cause even more damage to the gut. And so I thought it was really interesting. PPI use, omeprazole, that's probably one of the PPIs, the H2s, the things for acid reflux. That's probably the most common medication I see kids come in. And over the last 2 decades, prescribing has gone up to 500%.
Oh
From
my God.
one report I saw. And so what this does, if we go to our garden, these medications are almost like a storm. It comes through and it wipes it out. And so we have to have a way to replenish after the storm. And so thankfully, like I said, Juice Plus, this global leader in plant-centered nutrition, has come up with a probiotic, which is a capsule. And you probably heard of probiotics and think, well, okay, well, what makes this one different? Well, most probiotics, and you would think I would have learned this as a pharmacist, but I actually didn't. Most probiotics don't survive the gut because they don't survive being in the gut, the gastric acid. And so they have to be made in a time release capsule to release at the appropriate time so that it can flourish, it can be planted in the gut. Otherwise, it's just destroyed and eliminated from your body without doing any good. And so that's what makes this probiotic from Juice Plus different. And then the prebiotic has 6 different plant fibers providing 4 grams of fiber to feed all those good gut bacteria, the probiotics that you're seeding your gut with. And so Me personally, I have only been on this for a few weeks now, and I am already noticing that I feel more awake when I get up. I have a new clarity to my mind, and I had thought that I was regular before. Actually, I'll let you into a little bit of me before Juice Plus. I didn't think it was abnormal to not go to the bathroom every day. I was like, if you go a couple times a week, it's fine. Well, I did learn once I started fueling my body correctly that that was probably not good for my body, and got more regular. Well, I will say that this, I am so much more comfortable. My gut is more comfortable. I am less bloated. And I notice if I eat something that's maybe not so great, I don't feel the effects as long. And so these are just the few things that I'm noticing. I know Debbie's have her own testimony soon. Like we said, that this isn't meant to cure or treat any disease, but I already am seeing so many benefits, and I can't wait to see what I have as I continue to take this, because I know that there will be long-term effects with this as well.
Oh, I love that, Katie. Thank you so much. And again, from a pharmacist's viewpoint, to see the increase in the medications for our kids, we have got to change that. So I just want to show you real simple. This is the probiotic, the live bacteria, and it's in a tiny, tiny little capsule. It's super easy to swallow. And then you're going to drink the incredible prebiotic, the 6 fibers. It's the variety, you guys. And I want to draw attention to one of these fibers. I'm going to abbreviate it XOS. It is just different fibers feed different bacteria, and the XOS feeds a bacteria that diminishes, greatly reduces as we age. And I don't know if that's part of why I've had such incredible results, but Katie's a lot younger than me and she's getting the results. We're hearing it left and right, but it is the combination. Many people take a probiotic, don't feel anything. The statistics are 80% that take a probiotic say they never felt anything. It's the food, the creating the environment. You've got to feed that probiotic. And we're not sure of this, but we're thinking you might not have to take the pro forever. You get that bacteria really growing with this. And we'll educate our clients as we go, but this will be for life because we just don't get enough fiber, and this is a super easy way to get that diversity. That is the real magic. Somebody's unmuted, you guys. And so we're going to close up here by saying, hey, Carla, you're not muted. Okay, thank you. So we're going to, bring this to a kind of a close that, I really want you to think about, what are you doing? I heard 2 testimonials 10 minutes before this call of incredible results. I'm not supposed to just share testimonials. They're supposed to share it from their mouth, but I will tell you my results. And again, these are my results. Your results will be your own. But within days, I've been regular for years. I thought I was fine in that. Well, cleaned house a little more. Okay. Felt so good. My belly, I'm 67 years old. My belly has not been this flat. I have no love handles. I can't believe it. Since premenopause, you guys, premenopause. And we know the gut is totally tied to hormonal health. Okay. But this is the reduction of appetite and something, it's doing something with the metabolism, you guys. So my energy, people that know me, it's always kind of up here. It is up to here. It is so much better. Brain clarity. But this one, well, besides the flat belly, I love it. Okay. I'm not going to lie. And I'm hearing that a lot. I'm a personal trainer. That is like, my clients are kind of loving that. But so the mood lift, you guys, Think of how many people are suffering with depression and anxiety. Please share this with them. We can't guarantee anything, but the gut is connected to that. I have been singing. And I've been on this about 3 weeks now. And this, I am starting to see it in my skin. My skin improved with the superfoods. We take it in the capsule or you can drink it. This is 30 plants, you guys. But we've been on that for 22 years. To think that this Superbiome has lifted us to a higher level. My husband told me, he's on, so I can share this, that he's waking up with way less aches and pains. He works really hard physically in an orchard, and his craving for chocolate has all but diminished. Okay, that's exciting. And that is in 3 weeks, you guys. Why would that happen so quick? And some people, I mean, I started seeing results in the first week, very noticeable. Dr. Imran Mayer, he's a gastroenterologist, probably the world's leader in the gut brain axis, the gut brain connection. He said that no other system in our body modifies as fast as our microbiome. You know that because if you're under a lot of stress, you get an upset stomach that day. That's the microbiome taking a hit. Okay. So you already know that. And that's why we're seeing these improvements so fast. And so it's super exciting right now because we can offer you a sale. You guys get with whoever invited you to this. Juice Plus they want everybody to be blessed with this. Somebody just posted, after I eat, I'm staying fuller for longer and not getting hungry. That is GLP-1, among other things. Okay. That's exactly what GLP and fiber acts just like GLP-1. We don't need to inject ourselves. We need to feed gut microbiome. Thank you for that comment. I've heard so many today. I've never been more excited to be able to share. And I just want to end with this. Remember, it's the richness and diversity of your microbiome that is doing these wonderful things. And I want to quote at Imran Mayer. He said, the most important step to stemming the tide of our health crisis is not through an increased number of medications, but through better control of our gut-based microbial systems using the natural healing power contained in our foods. You guys, that's from one of the world's, if not the world's leading expert on gut health. And he says that we are in an urgent moment to consider this, the ringing of our global alarm. If you heard what Katie was saying, if that's not an alarm, okay, as well as an unequivocal plan for turning this around. You guys, please just get started. Grab the sale. If you're already a Juice Plus customer, get the 4-month subscription at even a better price. You are going to love the day you got your shipment and got started. Thank you guys. I'm going to stop the recording. We will take questions.